Face Value, in collaboration with African Media Association, Migrants Commission, and 103 Malta's Heart.
Hi, I'm Ella.
And I am Rachel.
And we welcome you to another episode of Face Value, where we explore the relationships of people from different nationalities living here in Malta.
Today we have in the studio with us Ariel and Danielle, who got to know each other through RMJ's Horse Rescue. Welcome to the studio, guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
So before we just get into things, let's start slowly. Can you just tell us how you met each other, how you got to know each other? We'll start with you, Ariel.
With me.
Yes.
So we met at RMJ,
Okay.
the Horse Rescue NGO. I don't think it was any introduction. It was kind of like we fall into each other, into
Okay.
the same barn, and into the loop of cleaning and helping, and that's how we met.
Maybe we'll then get to what is RMJ about, so that we can understand how you fell
Yes,
into
of
each other in the barn. Yes.
Of course.
So RMJ, as Ariel said, we're a horse rescue. We rescue horses from slaughter.
Okay.
We also have horses coming from animal welfare, and we have had a couple of horses coming from the cavalry, from the police section. We have at the moment around 85 horses, and most of these horses are still very, very young. So they have their whole life ahead of them. So we try to rehome them abroad, mostly to the UK.
Okay. Abroad.
We have this rehoming project. It's called Project Back to the Green, where obviously from Malta they go back to the green in the UK abroad. And basically that's what we do. We rescue the horses, we rehabilitate them, and then we rehome them.
Okay.
That's the kind of mantra we go by.
Okay.
Rescue,
So that
rehabilitate,
gives
and
it
rehome.
contests.
Yes.
Fall into each other in a barn.
Yes. No.
Because we are always so, there is a lot of things to do. A lot of work needs to be done all the time. Not just because lack of volunteering, it's mainly because the amount of calls and horses that we receive on a daily basis, unfortunately. So there isn't time for a proper introduction.
Introductions, yes,
And
just-
okay, look, this is your
What
place,
needs
this
to
is
be
what
done.
you're going to do. No, you just enter it and it's kind of, hi, I don't care about your name. Take the rake, clean the
didn't
poop.
say that.
No,
No.
not you, in general. But it's like, hi, rake, clean, thank you.
Get to work.
No, wait, Ariel is giving the very harsh side of things. Let me say how it's really done. Yes, we do need volunteers, obviously, to help clean up. We have, oh my God, 80 horses. So, yes, there's a lot of cleaning involved. But we try to obviously be as friendly as possible with
We are
our
very friendly.
volunteers.
By taking the rake and get to work.
No, because
Ariel
the
has a
fastest we
different
clean,
type of
Holding on to that
friendly.
since the very beginning. Yeah, you just had a moment to do.
the fastest we clean, the more time we have to enjoy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Okay.
we can do rides, and we do grooming and rides and
Washing the
petting
horses
and washing and just sitting talking to the horse. That's what I usually do. I talk to
Nice.
him,
Or else he sleeps next to him.
or I sleep next to him. Yes, as well.
That's what he does. He
Yes.
doesn't talk to the horse.
No,
The
I mean
horse talks to
both.
him.
No, the horse talks to me. Yes.
Yeah, some sort of therapy, no?
Yes.
Yes,
I usually
something
nap
fisher it
also sometimes next to him.
Danielle, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, I'm 28 years old. I'm a social worker by profession. I've been to horses all my life, but never really had the opportunity to, mingle with horses and all this. So I started volunteering with another NGO before, and so I've been into horses as in direct contact with horses for I think about now seven years. I sing as well. I don't really like saying that I sing, but I sing. I know
She's amazing.
I know he's going to talk about it, so there's no point in trying to avoid it. So as I said, I sing. I'm a social worker. I love horses. I love cooking when I have time. I love baking. I think. Okay,
Married.
that's all. Yes, I'm married as well.
All right, now that you said that you don't want to talk about it, though, I am curious. What kind of singing do you do?
So I sing opera mainly.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I am an opera singer.
Due to the horses as well,
No.
as part of the therapy. It was like
No, I
sleeping with the
started-
horses and then you're singing. And
No,
so-
well, I had no option really and truly because all my family were kind of into music and into
Music.
singing and whatnot. Even when my mom was still pregnant with me, I was quite a naughty little baby. So she used to kind of shush me by playing some music. And then when I was born, it was practically the same thing. She used to sit on the piano with me and play some notes. And then I started going to piano lessons. I think I started at the age of 6, something like that. And then I went on to singing and, I
Wow.
tried.
Good. And Ariel, you want to tell us about yourself?
Me, so I'm 40 years old. I don't like to say that. I'm 40, very happy married. That's what my wife said. I have three kids, all of them boys, the age of 13, 11, and 6. I am a professional chef, and I also are a political science by degree, both of them. Currently, to be honest, I don't use any of them. No, I've been head chef of a few places, a few famous places as well, even here in Malta. But lately, especially after COVID, I laid down a bit. I went more into teaching and consultancy. And if I'm honest, I'm currently working in the gaming industry.
Oh, wow.
So I have a bit of background of many things.
Yes. Diverse.
I lived in a few countries. So I born in Argentina. I moved to Israel as a young Jewish kid. I was 19.
Wow.
I did the army and many other things over there. And our first relocation was to Gibraltar for my wife work. She worked also in the gaming industry for many years. So we moved to Gibraltar, and then we've been relocated once again here to Malta about 6.5 years ago.
That's interesting. Quite a diverse career.
Yes.
You've also
And
traveled.
also diverse countries. What was
Countries
your
as well.
experience moving to Israel from Argentina?
The thing is, back in the time, to be honest, I moved alone. So I was, 19, all the future for me. So anything that I got, I said, everything
let's
is a
go.
teaching lesson. So move forward. And I was very fast into the army because that's the obligation. So I didn't really have too much time to get used to. I got used to by force, kind of.
Did you want to, or was mandatory?
First of all, there isn't
Part of
any choice of want or you don't want. You are, if you're able, you go. That's an obligation in Israel. And I did 2.5 years. The thing is, what I choose was, if I'm already there, I will try to do the most as I can. That's something that I've been doing it in any career that I had. I tried to get to the best as I could. I was the head chef of the #1 restaurant in Malta, according to TripAdvisor, for 2 years, for example. So I tried to push to the best. So I was infantry soldier. Then I did a few, courses of instructor and things like that. There isn't much more of of an experience. Kind of, you land, hi, that's your rights, those are your obligations. Thank you.
No, sorry, because I'm just a bit confused. So you're Argentinian and Israeli in terms of, because I don't really know how this works.
In terms of passport, you say?
Yeah.
Well, in terms of passport, I hold Polish passport. My
Oh, okay. So
yes.
Sing
my grandparents escaped from the Nazis
Okay.
from Poland, and
Okay.
they never turned Argentinian, so they have.
Oh.
Actually, my grandmother only has her passport, and through her we took. So we live in Europe. That was easier for us.
Okay. No, sorry, I was just curious because I didn't understand in terms of nationality then what was like the duty, to be part of the military or whatnot.
No, I mean, again, as a Jewish person, as on the moment that you land in Israel, you receive your citizenship. You're not resident, you're citizen with all the rights and all the obligations as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a go ahead.
That's quite diverse.
Everything's diverse.
Yes. For Danielle, I wanted to know, how does RMJ work? So you solely depend on volunteers, or
We depend on volunteers. None of us work there because some people in
and
society.
when you say horse, how many people, do you have an idea the number of volunteers you have? Or
20-ish.
do you need to
Not
register,
many.
or people just come in? So do you need some hands today? I come. Like that?
Ideally, we get to know about the people coming beforehand because
Okay.
obviously if we have activities in the afternoon or we have a birthday party, because we do birthday parties as well, then we can't really stay with the new volunteer, with the new person as much as we would like to. Obviously, a horse is not a cat or a dog. They're huge animals, so you have to kind of be aware of yourself and what you're doing, not to either frighten the horse or
be frightened by
By
them.
the-
Exactly.
Quite intimidating.
Exactly. So, but that is something that a lot of people think that horses are very intimidating, but really and truly they're just like big fluffy puppies.
No, just because I
Honestly.
know how,
By
the
size.
experience that I've had of horses was always through friends. There was a big thing when I was, I think, middle school, high school. They used to compete professionally. So then sometimes I would go with them for practice and I would see them. But
That's
it's
a very different
it
world
is,
than
it
what
is.
we do.
But it's like you see it like physically, you're next to it. You do see it as, obviously it's the size also that's very intimidating. You never,
Yes.
But yeah.
They are super
Beautiful
gentle.
creatures.
Once you understand, they are super gentle. Really.
So how do you understand if you don't own one? It's not like a cat or a dog.
Exactly. That's why when we have new volunteers, we try to ask them to tell us beforehand when they're
Okay.
coming.
Also,
So
what conditions they're coming to you. Many times
Exactly.
they must be abandoned or...
yes.
Okay.
Very
Some are
neglected
living.
as well.
We
Yeah.
have had, for example, Honey and Caramel came to us last summer, I think it was.
That's their names?
We really named
try
them
to
because we
rename them.
have.
Who names them? I would love naming them.
I think this was a team effort
But how did you arrive at that particular? Was
because
it
they
vote,
are
or?
halflingers and they're beigey in color.
Okay.
So we had
okay,
Honey
okay.
and Caramel.
And their mother and daughter.
Exactly. So, and they came to us in severe neglect. We thought that they were
I'm
actually going to die.
curious. How do you get? So we see stray cats, stray dogs.
But you don't see a stray horse.
Yeah. So how do you get this?
These neglect cases come to us through animal welfare.
Okay.
So usually there's a person who calls animal welfare, and this person will be worried about the welfare of the horse. Obviously these horses would be kind of hidden away in fields. When I say hidden away, it's not because the owner is hiding them, but the field would be kind of in a very in an area where there aren't any houses, or so it's not
Okay.
like city
Yeah,
like village like. And I mean, people would spot the horse, they would call, animal welfare would check up on the horse, and if animal welfare find that the horse is not in good condition, then we get the call. And when we get calls from animal welfare and the calls we get from the racing owners, we kind of have to really juggle with the horses. Obviously our space is very limited. Even manpower is limited. As you said, we're about 20-25 volunteers and we all have our full-time jobs. So we go there literally as volunteers.
And donations are very limited as well.
Exactly. So
We don't
we
receive
really
any
try.
I was
from-
going to come
from
to that.
anyone
Like,
but
Yes.
donations.
and what
Yes.
about resources?
Resources, I
Donations.
mean, we rely solely on donations and fundraising that we organize.
Yeah.
So
So the feed, every month goes up, and but the
Exactly.
donations, we obviously try to explain. At some point, it's hard and sad at the same time to explain how really we need that money to come into our bank accounts, because at the end of the day, as Daniel said, none of us are working. Most of us are putting a lot of money from our pocket, apart from our time. And yes, and the neglected cases keep coming. The owners of horses keep calling. Many owners, they keep the horses in a very good state, but
Yes.
but eventually
we cannot say anything about the horses that are still running the race. So the horse race owners that where the race would still be racing, we cannot, I mean, they keep them in top shape. But then unfortunately when the horse either gets injured or he's no longer
Used to
doing
them.
times, the
Yes.
good timings, then unfortunately then
They want to get rid of it, so to speak.
yes.
Yeah, some of them they help us to rehome.
Exactly, and that is where we are trying to move towards. We're really trying hard to kind of change this mentality rather. To, I mean, you get the horse, yes, you race with the horse, but then what happens? I mean, you
Not
have
just
to
for the good times.
exactly. It's like marriage, you see, the good and bad and the ugly.
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of family aspects to this RMJ.
There is a lot. The awareness of the need of the donations is something that needs to be in the mind of everyone. And again, and the change of mentality of, okay, I am buying a horse because I want to race him. Okay, it finished. I need to help
To find
us
retirement.
to find a retirement place if I cannot get it by myself. Because at the end, again, it's, you
Before you
brought
came-
it here.
Before you came to Malta, have you been working with horses before? Have you had the experience?
My relationship with horses, strictly speaking, started in Malta, although while we were in Gibraltar, my wife is very into animal in general.
Okay.
But
she's not part of RMJ.
No,
Yes, she is. She's
a-
more
she's
part
a huge
of RMJ than
Danny?
Ariel.
She's more than me.
Wow.
She's a huge part of RMJ.
And
yeah.
they foster dogs as well.
Yes, we also foster
And Ariel
dogs.
has no say about this.
The foster dog?
We
How?
foster dogs from animal welfare as well at home.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good.
That's what we do. Basically, I was never into animals. In fact, a short story I can tell is that once I took my mom and my dad that they were visiting here, I took them to RMJ, and then my mother told me, I didn't know you liked horses. What I answered, you never get me into any animal, so how could I know that I like horses?
That is what marriage does, no?
Yeah, that was with my mother, by the way, and my mom and my wife. Yes, my wife was into animals all the time. So, whilst we were in Gibraltar, she found a place where we used to take our kids. So our kids used to go there as a daily camp. We used to leave them there at 8 in the morning, go for a walk, go for lunch, something like that between me and her, and then pick them up at lunchtime or after lunchtime. They used to spend time with the horses, learn about the horses, clean, groom, wash, ride, and they really loved it. So when we moved to Malta, she started looking for these things until we find RMJ. Our story started with a very sick horse. Her name was Riv. She came to RMJ with uncountable tumors in the body. I think she was about to be put into sleep in the next days, and then my wife tried step on and said, listen, let us try to take care of her and see what's going on. And we extended her life for 8 months.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Just by care?
Just by care and by feeding. Obviously, we took over all the expenditure of the feeding, and we bought many other things and many, extra
Supplements,
stuff.
vitamins.
Yes.
We will
Okay.
be taking this conversation, reprising this conversation in a short break. We will be back right soon, continuing discussing this conversation on Face Value 103 Malta's Heart.
Face Value, in collaboration with African Media Association, Migrants Commission, and 103 Malta's Heart.
And we're back with Face Value on 103 Malta's Heart. Today with Rachel, we're joined by Ariel and Danielle. And we were talking about their experience and how they met through their work with the organization RMJ. We actually left it off at a very sad note, talking about your first experience with the horse that had come
Right.
in. Can you explain a bit?
She came with a lot of tumors in her body, and we managed by taking care and giving her supplements and many other vitamins, extend her life for about
8 months.
8 more months. But yeah, eventually, we had to sleep. And then I think probably a few weeks later on, we received another case where we weren't sure if she was a mix of a donkey or a pony or whatever. She was looking like a donkey. We could put our fingers between her ribs. That was the state of her, really bad shape. So we named her Fiona. And if you look at the pictures now, she's a massive,
like a
chubby
like a
Wow.
sofa.
How long are we talking about?
4 years ago.
Wow.
About.
So they stay this long with you guys?
We have horses who are residents over there who can't leave our care.
Yeah.
So, and
You're
then...
mentioning
Yes, exactly.
resident horses.
A good number of the horses we have from the 85-ish we have are residents.
What is the
and-
lifespan of a horse?
Around 30, 35 years.
So these
it
are
depends.
maybe like the older ones that
Yes,
you travel.
yes.
We did get, we managed to keep horses at the age of 40 as well.
Yes.
So basically, where you keep them, you just keep them for the purpose of, housing them, caring for them, with no intention to maybe raise them or nothing?
We have horses who have complex medical conditions. For example, one of them has sarcoids in his leg. It's like tumors. Every now and then it pops out again. And he's relatively a young horse. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's about 18, 15 to 20. Those are his years. If not less, because now I'm a bit... his name is Avatar. So a horse like that with sarcoids, and we know that he's going to need constant care and constant vet appointments. I mean, it's very hard for someone to adopt a
Adopt
horse
them.
like that, because they know that it's
It takes a lot
it's
of
going to take a lot
resources.
of time, money, and resources. And there have been times where even we said, especially, how are we going to keep him comfortable? Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
Yes,
keeping
I
them
was going to
comfortable.
say, do you checkmate, or how do you checkmate that, or ensure that people where you rehouse the horses, they take care of them, just like adoption?
Yes, we do. In Malta, we go and visit the horses.
We took back horses as well.
Yes,
What about do you have anyone adopted abroad?
of course.
So how do you do
That
this?
is Project Back to the Green. We have a team of volunteers in the UK. They have adopted horses from us as well, and they are the rehoming team we have in the UK.
So is this an extension of RMJ?
Yes, there is only one RMJ, and that's based in Malta. But obviously, we try to rehome them abroad in green fields, so we kind of need someone to run the rehoming part abroad. So the people who are interested in adopting a horse would fill out an application, and this application then is vetted through the rehoming team, and according to what there is written on the application and the abilities of the person adopting, then the rehoming team kind of matches the horse with the person. So that's how it's done in the UK.
Oh, wow. And Ariel, you've been living in Malta for 6.5 years, you said?
Yes.
How has your experience been, apart from RMJ?
As a general experience, is I always say that personal, economical, career, everything was increased and improved massively. Especially from Gibraltar, which is a very a tiny place. Although Malta is small, but Gibraltar is the size of Valletta, let's say. So
Crazy to think of.
yeah.
Somewhere even smaller than
We're always thinking that we are the standard. We are the reference.
My experience was it has been very, very good. We find a very good school for the kids. In general, our ambient it's very nice. I didn't encounter any hostile or any. Maybe once in a while someone tells you the famous phrase of "go back to your country," but in general, we found that at least the people that we are surrounded by are really nice and very, comfortable to speak with. Trying always to speak in English, although between them they can
Yes, I was
speak
going
in
to ask you,
Maltese.
do you now speak Maltese?
No, nothing. No, I can say a phrase of many words that they
Yeah.
don't make sense between each
I
other.
think Danielle should give us a testimony about that.
Yes,
How is
yes.
it?
I always said, "Mush vera kolosh mush chazin."
So if we're talking about something and then he just pops in the conversation, he'll go, "Mush vera kolosh hazin."
Yeah.
Nothing to do with what we're saying.
Nothing. I have no idea. Honestly, I
Or else you
couldn't.
go, Mela, Mela, Mela.
Mela mush chazin. That's what I can say. I mean, I
The
can.
pronunciation is good though.
Yes.
Yes, but that's the thing. I am fluent in Hebrew, which is a Semitic language. So the
Yeah.
pronunciation, I have no problem. Even I can count until 10. But I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm good pronunciation, nonsense things.
Sounds like a
Okay.
good plan. What about you with Spanish? Are you learning Spanish?
I know a couple of words here and there. But I can't say that
Hola,
I'm-
amigos. No, with G, amigos. Same
When I
thing.
WhatsApp his wife, when I WhatsApp his wife and I tell her hola, and then I say, okay, now is it amigo or amico? And I say no, amico is in Italian, so it's amigo.
Amigo.
And I fix it quickly. No, I meant to say amigo. But sometimes I understand a bit of words here and there because also I love languages. I'm much better in languages than I am in maths and the other subjects.
I wholeheartedly agree. That has been my experience as well.
I have never
Yeah.
ever. I don't know. I can't. Maths is not my thing. I think the
we're
examiner,
born with different brains.
the
Who's like
examiner
more
that's
for like languages and
corrected.
humanities and who's more for logical
Exactly,
things. I
exactly.
am not that.
I always
Cannot
say
do
this
that.
to my mom. The examiner that corrected my O-level exam was definitely drunk. Because I told her I
Okay.
haven't passed.
No,
We
no.
don't want to do a double check.
And what has been your impression of one another in terms of cultural differences? Has there been any quote-unquote culture shocks that you've had about learning about one another's religion, for example, or languages or rituals?
I don't think it's a culture shock. It's because we take that as an opportunity to learn.
I think it's more a cultural interest
Yes,
rather
it's
than
an
a culture
interest.
shock.
We all, I mean, strictly speaking, everything that she does, it's the opposite of what we do. But then it's a continuing learning process. Like,
In what sense, though? I'm curious.
well,
Something that you would say would be the direct opposite.
For example, I asked why during Easter, Catholics or Christians, they don't eat meat. If Jesus, that was a Jewish guy, was having the last meal, and we eat meat. That's what we do. So I said, if he was eating meat, why you don't eat meat? No, I don't know why. I still don't know why, but I found it interesting. We don't eat bread. And they said, well, why you don't eat bread? There is an explanation. At least we have an explanation why we don't eat bread. It's related to the exodus of Egypt. But the meat, I don't know. So Daniel, why you don't eat
I
meat?
don't know. I'm vegetarian, so I don't know.
In any case, again, I don't think there is a culture shock. Probably because I've been living in many countries before, so I'm a bit more of open mind to new things. I think one of the perhaps the appointments with doctors and government, that was a bit of a culture shock in my head. When you go to any polyclinic and they still writing in pen your name is, and it's like,
Yeah.
you don't have any card or something to press the button and give me the ticket. No. They give you a raffle ticket with a number, a manual.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a culture shock in my case, at least.
That's interesting. Danielle, do you have quite a vast range of foreigners being part of RMJ? Because I'm curious to know, for me, if not for this conversation we are having, I have never heard of RMJ. Maybe because I'm not into animal kind of thing. But how is the audience like, or your volunteers? Is it just locals, or do you have a mix of both locals and foreigners? How is it?
So I have this bunch.
Yes, of course.
Then we have Italians. At the moment, we have another Spanish girl. We do have people coming for internships as well. So we also accept students for internships.
What would they be studying usually?
They would be studying English. So coming to us, they would have an interest in animals, in horses,
okay,
example.
okay.
And coming to us would help them practice their English.
So what would they be contributing? Caring for the animals?
Yes. Basically like what we do. But it would help them to practice
Interaction.
to practice English. So we do have a couple of
So
Mix.
do you go to your residence, I mean, where the horses are every day?
come again. I go to the horses every day. Yes.
Yes.
Morning, before work, and after work.
Wow.
I don't, but I should go. But
I'm surprised how I'm
Okay.
still married.
Yeah.
Because,
okay.
yes,
Apart from that, like, is it just you or a couple of others as well?
In the morning, we're about 4.
Okay.
And we feed everyone, then go to work.
So do you have a schedule?
For the morning,
No, for this visit.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, some of us, for example, I go every day. It's my battery. I can't not
This is
go.
part of your life.
Yes, I feel weird not going. For example, especially if I have to go abroad.
I was about to ask. I'm curious. How does that work when you're abroad?
I mean, the first 3 days of going abroad is a nightmare for me because I have a cat at home as well. And I can't stand the thought of leaving my cat and the horses I take care of alone. So the first 3 days are a nightmare. Then the second 2 days are good if it's a week. Then the last 3 days,
Let's go.
let's go. I remember last time I went abroad with my husband. My husband's father came to pick us up from our house, and I was bawling my eyes out. I had tears, and my husband's father told him, "Iwa, you fought. You're going on holiday.
No,
Yeah,
we
you
did not."
fought." And my husband told him, "Oh, she fought before. She's crying because she's leaving her cat at her house." That's how I am.
I find it so endearing that you have that level
Passionate.
of empathy and like you're so connected to animals. I have never had that experience either because I didn't grow around animals.
No,
Whereas
it's been like that
we were
since I
little
was a
kids,
baby.
so we didn't have any pets outside of that. But I don't know what that connection feels like. So to me, it just feels very special that you would have. So you really feel truly like a different relationship with each animal that you're taking care of as
And
well.
each horse is different.
And how long does it take you, for example, because you had mentioned you get horses that are in very bad shape and
Yes.
probably they have suffered some level of trauma. How long does it take for them to sort of start the
Recover.
relationship of trust with the people that are taking care of them? Because
It
you're also very
depends.
many volunteers,
It
no?
depends on the level of trauma. For example, if I can mention Kali.
Kali.
Kali came to us like a dinosaur. Really, we would really risk going in next to him, even simply to clean for him.
He was attacking everyone.
And he used to recharge at you to bite you.
Yeah.
So you would have literally have to be all eyes and ears and really, really attentive of what you're doing, of his body language, of your body language, everything. So we tried rehabilitating him. The one person really spent a lot of time with him. Corinne, she's the chairperson of the NGO. She's a teacher, so she had the summer holidays where she could kind of start
Welcome.
asking him to trust us. Nowadays, he's much better. He's much better. He does let you touch his nose if he likes you. If he doesn't like you and he doesn't know you, he's still
How
a
long
bit.
has he been with you guys?
I think Ali, 2
Over a year.
years.
2 years. Yes.
And it's just better not there yet.
I mean, some
It
horses
was really
I'm not petting him.
traumatized.
I'm still not petting him. I go close to him and say, "Hello, how are you?" Like this. No, honestly, I saw what he did. It's not his fault. He was.
So what I was
He was locked out.
I was going to ask, like, what causes this such level of traumas for these animals? Apart from, I know physical abuse and all that, but
It
is there
depends.
something else?
It depends. I mean, we can't really put our finger on it. I mean, every situation is its own
Peculiar.
situation. So, I mean, we had Baby, for example. Now he's living the life in the UK. He's the master of this yard.
Yes.
And
when he came, he was about to die.
He was terrible. He had holes everywhere. He had maggots coming out of him. He was literally dying alive.
Wow.
If you know what I mean.
When we say holes, we're talking about
Big holes under, like holes.
when you could see the bone from inside the meat. We could see the bones. He was
So
not even able
look him
to
up.
stand up.
Just write baby RMJ and you'll see him. Now he's a huge horse, and even that we didn't expect him to grow a full. The size of a full-sized horse, but he's getting there slowly. And like him, we had Stevie Wonder.
I am loving the names. I'm sorry. Like, if I could do that as a
So
job, just give
personable.
names to
Yes.
even inanimate objects, anything, animals, anything. Like,
We have.
It must be so much fun.
Stevie also came back with it.
For example, now I have a horse named Dudu.
Yes. He's
Honey.
huge. But like huge. I'm talking about
Huge.
like
And you call them
Huge.
Dudu.
Here. No, his name is Dudu. His real name is Dudu de Noyer. But we call him Dudu. We have a couple of funny other names.
Well, Avatar is also funny.
Avatar, pirate, half
Pirate,
pirate.
well, pirate, but it's logical.
We have Burger.
Why?
Burger.
Okay, so we will be taking a break now, and when we come back, I would like to know the motivation behind these names, especially Burger, because I love Burger, anyways. So I want to know. I'm curious, but we're going on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation with Danielle and Ariel. Don't go away.
Face Value, in collaboration with African Media Association, Migrants Commission, and 103 Malta's Heart.
And we're back on Face Value 103 Malta's Heart. Today with Rachel, we're joined by Ariel and Danielle, and we were just talking about all the beautiful names that you've given to your horses. So I want just like a rough list of like the most memorable ones that come to mind right now.
Now we said Burger. We
Okay.
have Fiona.
Burger's real name, however, the name came because his real name is Berg Dilea.
Oh my god.
So when we said Berg Dilea, one of our volunteers said, Burger.
Okay.
Now he's
Is
Burger.
this-
That's how it went. Okay.
Fiona's name was basically Fiona is the pony that my family is taking care of her mainly. So since she was looking like a donkey when she arrived in a very bad
Oh,
shape.
that one.
Yeah, so my wife said, "Oh, she looks like a donkey, but she's a mare, so Fiona from Shrek."
I like that.
We have RMJ, obviously, the mascot of our... There's a story behind the
Exactly.
name of RMJ.
Because why?
It doesn't stand for anything, on the contrary to what people think. It doesn't
You mean
stand...
RMG doesn't stand for anything?
No.
Nothing.
RMJ in Maltese, let me say the story, then you'll understand why. I'll do my best to help with the translation. But so RMJ was a very feisty pony when he was younger. He still is now. So but when his previous owners used to try to catch him from the paddock or the stable, he would literally bolt at them. So the other people watching the scene would go, RMJ. So RMJ
Okay,
in Maltese
okay.
is mind he's coming.
He's coming.
So that's how his name was
That's
invented.
Really?
RMJ.
I like
So
that.
we have
Very
that.
nice.
Then we
Might be
have
my favorite yet.
But we have other things.
we have
I
We have Napoleon,
pig.
Big, Oscar the goat,
Bubbles. He's
Bubbles
a
the
pony.
pony.
Bobos.
Yeah, because he's like a bubble.
And is the center open to the public in general for people who want to see?
Yes.
Like, do you do
Yes.
open days?
We do organize open days. We always there's always publicity on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. We advertised before, so even if the public would like to come for
Okay.
pony rides, we organize pony camps for the children. We organize birthday parties, so we have a lot going on. We advise them to message us on Facebook or send us an email, rmjhorserescue@gmail.com. And we'll see to their needs depending on what they want. In summer, we organize swimming with the horses. So we actually take a couple of horses down to the beach and the people swim with the horses.
That's very pretty.
For you, Ariel, apart from RMG, do you have any other social life apart from...
Social life.
Social life.
Yes. Apart from
What is that?
We do.
I mean,
we
Danielle,
do.
I was about to ask. I mean, time management wise, I don't know how that works. If you're going
I
before
don't-
work,
I don't
then you
know
work,
how
then you go
it
after
she
works.
work.
said,
Right,
what?
either.
She said, what is that? She just said,
Yeah.
what is that like? Does it exist?
We look, to be honest, again, as Daniel said, we do go every day to RMJ. If it's not me, usually my wife, and when she cannot, I go or I try to go. We do go abroad quite often, job related, so it's a bit more complicated. But again, social life, yes, I like to go out to eat. Well, I'm a professional chef, so I try
Do
to
you want
go
to try
out.
other people's food?
I do, yes. I do restaurant reviews for a magazine together with another foreign girl, well, woman. It's not. We do restaurant reviews, so that's more or less food related. I do a lot of barbecue in my house.
Whoa, okay, maybe.
Mind you, I've never tasted his barbecue. Now it's too late because I'm
Because of
vegetarian.
vegetarian.
Yes.
I can do.
So-
Barbecue
Shame
with
on you.
vegetables as
We
well.
can do aubergine in zucchini.
Tofu and
Not tofu, tofu melt. We do aubergine and zucchini with ratatouille.
Okay, so when you have social events at RMJ, do you use your cooking expertise or you go as a volunteer?
I go as a volunteer. I'm not involved in anything food related. No, the truth is, I don't. I rather be there to help them more than busy in the cooking part. All my family goes. Usually, all the social events. It's me and the kids. Everyone like. We are in charge of the selling merchandise. Me and my family. I don't know why, but they think that we are good sellers.
Markets.
well, your children are good sellers.
So we mainly take care of the merchandise selling. The kids go on the carrots and apples. My wife on merchandise, and I'm by persuading people to go. Bye.
Okay.
Scheme.
Yes. I wanted to also find out from you guys, like, so in RMJ, do you have people who come in? For me personally, I haven't had any encounter with horses. So if I come to RMJ, what will I? So if I'm in this program, I say, okay, come to RMJ, come and support us. What is it like, basically?
So, if you've had no experience with horses, obviously we're going to start from the basics.
Okay, so there's like stages.
Yes. Some people unfortunately think that they can come to us and just ride the horse and that's it. Obviously, we ride later after everything is done, after we've prepared the stuff for the morning. So it's easier for us feeding in the morning to, just feed and go to work. So starting volunteering with no experience will help you, will guide you. That's why I said before, it's better that we know about the person who's coming. So for example, if we're going to be us four over there, I know that I can take care of you and that he can take care of someone else. And like that, everyone has kind of a mentor to start with. Until then, the person would be more what's the word? Comfortable in being around horses, and they kind of can do the stuff on their own.
Usually they will go. We will guide. First of all, we always do a tour in the place, even for just a wine time visiting. So we do a tour in the place.
So because I was going to say, so anyone that is part of RMJ has to be a volunteer?
What do you mean?
No, not everyone. You can come.
You
one
can come
every
once,
month.
yes.
or-
You can come
okay.
once, for example, for a ride.
Okay.
But those rides would be specific. We organize those in the weekends. So, for example, Saturday or Sunday mornings, we have a group. We know that we're available from that time to that time, and we slot in groups according to the times of the volunteers at the end of the day, because we always have a person leading the horse. So if you're never ridden a horse, we don't just chuck
Leave
you
you
on a
to
horse
it.
and tell you.
No, but even if you are a professional rider, we don't know
Yes.
you,
Yeah.
so we cannot
don't trust you with-
You can.
What we
it's-
know is the horse and our abilities with the
Exactly.
horse. So we try to take things a bit slow.
We do also organize, if someone specifically want during the week to come and see the place and the farm, we always organize tours and we explain what do we do, and they can, interact with the horse. We also have sponsorship schemes, let's call it, where people can sponsor a horse. Not,
That would be a good start.
not
So
necessarily
They can
adopted.
physically be there.
Exactly.
They can still be
But
part of the
they
organization
can also
and contribute.
physically be there. We have on our
Yeah,
website.
but I mean, like, to be able to give the amount of commitment and time that you
Correct,
give.
yes,
correct,
yes,
correct.
yes, yes.
And also money-wise, I mean,
Yeah.
sponsorize, it's one thing. If you would like to adopt, it's a whole new story. It's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Danielle, we know that you sing. So you want to tell us about your experience singing. You used to sing?
Yes, I still sing. Go ahead.
She sang
say
on
it.
her wedding.
I'm just waiting for
Do you understand that she was entering into the church while singing? It's impossible. But she,
It's not impossible.
yeah, no, she did.
Your own
Romantic.
angel. Like,
Yeah.
The
And I
Ave
can
Maria, or
imagine
what do you call it?
everyone chanting when you're walking.
She was walking Ave Maria, blah blah blah. I don't know what sorry, but she was doing that.
Your husband was not wiping some tears.
I've seen him with tears, but he has, up until this very day, not admitted
You know?
that he had a tear coming down
You know,
from his eye.
because I'm here already like, wow. So,
No,
I
no.
want to see the video. I don't know.
I have them
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
because you sent them to me.
I do.
There you go. So
Yes.
at the end of this recording, that's what we're going to be seeing. Let's not sing now. Go.
No. So yes, I do still sing. I sing at weddings.
I'm curious. Do you sing to the horses?
When
Has it
I'm-
ever been a thing?
When I'm in a very, 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 very bad mood,
So they know-
I sing by myself.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'd be humming, not singing. But
Wow. Do they pick up on that?
some of them do. Some of them just continue eating.
But lady, give me my food. I don't care.
That. So I sing at weddings. I sing at funerals as well. I don't sing for the reception because my voice physically doesn't allow that. It's to put it into perspective. I like to bring out this example. Come again?
baritone.
No, soprano. I am. I'm a soprano.
Wow. Whoa.
It's like having an automatic car and a manual car. So a manual car, if you leave it on first, to go by the end of it. So that's how I would feel if I were to
Yes.
just sing pop. And obviously at a reception, you have to sing the light, fun stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I sing during the wedding ceremony.
Yes, most solemn.
I have had a couple of operas at the Manuel Theatre. That was a lot before I started
RMJ.
giving my life to horses.
Is it something that you would continue to pursue in that manner, though?
I've had an opportunity a couple of years ago to study abroad,
The singing.
yes, but there's a word for it, a scholarship to study abroad. But I kind of chickened out from 3 years studying abroad because there was obviously a possibility to extend the 3 years. But I had been, for a week, this was just in the midst of having to make this decision. I had gone for work-related travel in the UK, and I had spent a week, and I said during this week, I can't. I've barely managed to make it sanely okay during this week. So I said 3 years is too much. And I regret it. I do regret it because I still have to live with the what if. So, but that's something I have to live with.
But to be honest, I appreciate also the openness and vulnerability in you saying that.
I think it's actually the first time I'm saying this.
I think it's so important to have that as well, because then every time you're talking about any experience that you do, whether it's good or bad, the expectation on the other hand is always like, yeah, but it was good, right? Like you did a good choice, right? I think it takes courage to be able to say, this thing didn't pan out, and if I could do it again, I would do it differently.
Yes,
And maybe you will be that person that will give that advice to someone else when they're undecided on that. And
Exactly.
again, you never know
That's
where
the
your
thing.
life will lead
I
you
don't
after
know
that.
if I would do it differently because I mean, being a social worker, I love my job. It has its ups and downs as any other job, but I love giving. And my mom tells me, for example, you're a social worker with people and then a social worker after working hours with horses. I mean, she is kind of right. So, but yes, I mean, I regret it and don't regret it because if I did pursue this career in singing, I would
Some things
definitely
will
have no
stop.
time for horses.
Uh-huh.
So it was either one way or the other.
At what point did you get involved with horses?
I always loved horses since I was a little girl. In fact, my reward for doing well in exams was a horse ride. But I would have to do really, really well in exams. Really well. Because my mom was terrified of horses.
Oh, wow.
So she always has this mentality of, no, they're dangerous animals, blah, blah, blah. But then I was 18 and I said bye to my
Bye,
mom.
Mom.
And I started going to horse riding here and there. Then I went through a personal experience. Well, basically my grandfather died. And it was it was very shocking for me. I went through a very, very hard time. So I said, I want to give something back to the community. I want to do something with my time. I want to kind of put this frustration and energy into something productive.
positive.
And I started volunteering at the time with another NGO. Nowadays, this NGO has closed down. So then, yes, I started around seven years ago.
Oh,
And that is how you find your community, no? In a sense.
I
Yep.
never
I
did.
was curious to ask you about that. Like, what do you feel, besides obviously the work that you're doing with the horses, how do you feel being part of this specific community has opened you up to new experiences and to new people that possibly you wouldn't have met had you not
It's a
have done
family.
it?
I would
We're-
definitely never. I wouldn't met anyone.
We're a family. So
It is a family. Or at least, sometimes I always see this from an outsider perspective, from a foreigner perspective.
Sure.
We were welcomed like anyone else. All of us, not just my wife, who is more into it, even myself.
for the person to fit in RMJ, you have to have that correct dose of crazy.
Yes, of course.
These have the perfect dose.
Yeah,
All the family.
Crazy to do what?
Easy to
crazy.
stay with us.
You have to be really into commitment and understanding how important it is. But yes, the level of craziness means that to understand that what you are doing, it is crazy. I mean, you are spending all your time instead of doing anything
And
else.
Extra.
Because we
By-
can spend money there.
Exactly. And money, actually, cleaning and taking care of something, let's call it, who look at you and say like,
Where's my food?
well, exactly.
You're late.
Give
My
me
food.
hay and
me.
leave. That's the thing, because a dog comes, jumps on you, lick you.
Yeah.
A horse might come to you and rub his face on you, and then.
So how do you see that sense of satisfaction?
When you've
But I
created
think
level of
that
trust.
those small steps of kissing or rubbing the his nose or the face into you, and or even looking at you, although I don't know if he understands all the nonsense that I speak to him, those things are those small spots
best.
of happiness. I used to sit down even with my phone and then suddenly have the horse next to
Look
me, and
at
then,
you.
it change your mood. It change your mood.
And I think another really satisfying part of what we do is seeing the rescues we get from the neglect cases,
Yes.
and seeing them from like the ugly duckling
Rehabilitation.
go back to
Massive horses.
that's
yes.
that's the best part.
Satisfying.
I don't know if you follow the account on Instagram, the Dodo, which is all about rehabilitation of
Yes.
animals, relation with animals.
Yes.
It's reminding me of
Yeah.
that. I think I've seen a couple of videos also with the horses, but it's so nice.
We
create the
we have a
relationship.
few during on our social media. We have a few pictures of before and after of many of our cases. Now I believe that someone who sees the pictures can understand. Wow, that's incredible. But us that we actually live that on a daily basis,
Raises, yes.
it's a different
What is something you would wish people who might be interested in participating and being part of this organization, what do you wish people would know more about this cause?
I would say that people need to understand that we rely 100% in donations. We have no other help. We do have help from the government in any other senses, but we actually rely in donations from the people. So that's a very important thing. Now, we also understand that the situation, it's not the easiest for everyone, especially now with all after post-COVID era that we live. So even coming and giving a hand and see what we need, you know what I mean? Maybe they cannot give money, but they can I don't know, they have hay at home. I don't know what
Even
to
if
say.
they're good with maintenance.
Exactly.
I mean, having 80 horses, we do get a couple of
Yeah.
knockdown
Where and
walls
there.
here and there. So
Yes.
even if people don't want to have that one-to-one
Physical
interaction with horses, we do need a couple of
Maintenance.
strong guys who can help us out. With
Back in time
maintenance.
when we just moved to the place now, we did all the buildings. I remember myself building a wall, then fall down, and we called someone that who knows what to do. Yeah, but that's true. Painting the fence, you know,
Stick to the cooking, guys.
painting fences.
For anyone
building
listening, this is your opening. If you want to be part of this community and this family,
There you have it.
we
Okay.
know where we can find you now.
Yes.
Yes. On Facebook, on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
RMJ Horse Rescue.
You can find us as well on
Physically
Instagram
there.
physically, or you can find us on Instagram. They can contact me directly as well.
Okay, you can track Ariel and Danielle down. You can do that.
Correct.
Answer them
Okay.
and you'll find them.
It's been a very interesting and enlightening for me conversation, guys. Thank you for coming to do this with us.
Thank you.
So we have come to the end of today's episode of Face Value with Danielle and Ariel, and we've been talking about RMJ, their experiences, and some other stuff. Helena?
Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, we'll manage to see and participate in one of the events and see the horses in person. I want to meet,
welcome.
and I want to be able to name one, even if you will not allow me to do it. But I will bring a suggestion of names.
You can
regardless,
always
and I
give
will
a
see.
suggestion, yeah.
Anyways, we'll be concluding this discussion here. Thank you so much for joining us. And you can find all the episodes, this is a reminder, on social media by following us, Face Value, and listen to the full episodes on Facebook and Spotify. We will be seeing you same time next week. I have been Elena,
And I am Rachel.
and thank you for joining us. See you next time.
Face Value, in collaboration with African Media Association, Migrants Commission, and 103 Malta's Heart.